Hi everyone, my name is Ali and I'm here from BSC Group doing some work for the Hingham Conservation Commission. Today we're going to be visiting the Bouve Conservation Area, which is 32 acres of open space abutting the Hingham shipyard, and it ends on the other side on Beach Road. So what I've been doing for the town of Hingham is doing an assessment of every single trail on the open space properties, and then we're going to be coming up with a comprehensive trail map that's going to include connections between some of the properties, connections between communities and open spaces, as well as connections between commercial areas and open spaces. So I'm here with my handy GPS unit that's going to be collecting information on the trail, including trail tread, trail corridor width, bridges, culverts, water bars, steps. Pretty much any kind of feature that's on the trail, information is going to be collected on, so that we can also come up with a good management plan to make sure that these trails continue to be sustainable and offer great opportunities for the residents of the town of Hingham. All right, now we're going to head into the trail. So as I'm walking, I'm recording points that are going to be connected to create a line, and that line is going to be the trail. Same time for that point, I have information that I collect. So the type of path, so it's a trail, whether or not it's illegal, what kind of surface it is, so this is a natural surface as opposed to a gravel surface. I also record information about the width. It's important just because once you know the width of the trail, you can determine whether or not you would want to open it to other recreational uses, let's say for horseback riding or mountain biking, in addition to just regular hiking. I also record the condition of the trail, and my options are good, fair, or poor. This one's good. Whether or not there's vehicle access, and that's more for the town to know, or for the town police to know whether or not they can access a particular location for emergency purposes. In this case, it's none. Whether there's trail markings, sometimes in trails you will see trail blazes, or trail numbers or trail information that will tell you whether or not you're on the right path. A lot of the Hingham trails do not have these trail blazes, but that's going to be one of the things that's going to be recommended in the plan. Just because it makes people feel safer and comfortable with being outdoors. They know that they don't have to carry a map with them if they can just follow the blazes, and it'll get them back to where they started. So as we're hiking and collecting the trail line information, I can also do nesting of points. So in this case, I'm going to nest a point for a trail stream crossing. And in this location, it's a bridge, and it's made of wood, so I collect that information. I also collect whether or not it's in good shape. A lot of times what I look for is a missing pieces of the bridge itself, or whether or not it could potentially need some guardrail structures. In this case, it might need some railing because of the height. However, it's wide enough that it's safe for use. And then whether or not it's got enough space between the flowing stream and the top of the bridge to make sure that we have stream continuity and flow for wildlife. So some of the information that I've also been recording just for volunteer purposes and for rehabilitation of some of the habitat amongst these trails is invasive species information. If I see a patch of invasives that seems to be manageable by a volunteer group, I record the information so that Abby can tell, individuals that are looking for opportunities such as removing garlic mustard, which is this right here, where they can go to collect some of the invasives and help nature out a little bit, keep the balance. So in locations like this, I also nest a point for what could be trail damage. Here we see a lot of exposed roots, which would affect your ability to walk in the area, as well as affect the tree stability. So we want to make sure in areas like this that there's some kind of recommendations for improvement or for remediation so it doesn't keep getting worse. A lot of times this is due to water flowing on the trail. So as you can see, there is a slope, and the trail is kind of cupped. It kind of looks like a bowl. And so what the water is going to do is going to find the easiest way down, which is going to be right through the center of the trail, and it's going to start washing away some of the material. So in locations like this, what you do is you can either do a water bar, or you can do a drainage dip just to get the water off of the trail before it hits this location, so that it preserves some of the soil that's in the area. So just off the trail over here, we also have another invasive species called burning bush. And this one's the winged variety because it has little wings on those stems. This is an ornamental plant that was planted here, from early settlers or whose ever property this was back in the day. Burning bush turns really bright and red and beautiful during the fall. but it is an invasive species. It spreads through the rhizome, so an area like this, if you keep looking down towards more of the center of the property, you will see fields of just burning bush. So these are another one of the different points that I will collect for the Conservation Commission throughout the trail assessment process. So this is another feature that I've been collecting as I'm assessing some of the trail areas, and it's vistas. So anywhere where we can actually offer the public a nice view, like this spectacular view right here. I also look at the area and look for illegal trails or bootleg trails or individuals just trying to access the water in very steep locations, which could eventually lead into erosion and cause a problem. We do want to provide that kind of access, so looking for more sustainable ways of allowing people to get to the water would definitely be one of the recommendations within the trail plan. Also recording information about party sites or fire pits, just so that the town knows that this kind of activity is going on here, just so that maybe we can get volunteers to clean up the area a little bit from broken bottles and cans, and also the graffiti. So points like this I record as intersections, and it's an intersection with what appears to be a unofficial trail. This seems to be the main path that individuals use, but then there's some offshoots from time to time. Because there is no official map for the property, it's really hard to tell whether or not things are official or unofficial. Based on the volume of use and the fact that there's still a lot of vegetation growing around the trail, I call these unofficial trails. And we can follow it and see where it leads us to. A lot of times it could either be a geocache, or it could be a natural feature that people are going to photograph, or it could just be a dumping site, or there's a variety of different reasons why people would go off the main path in order to look for seclusion in nature. So it appears that this is where individuals are coming to see the big burr on the tree. It's just a woody growth on the tree. Sometimes it happens when the tree has an injury and it starts scarifying itself up and building more and more woody material. It's pretty impressive. It's big. In a location like this, I will also record information about growth into the corridor of the trail itself. People feel safe when they have more room to hike on a trail and it's a little bit more open and they can actually see ahead of them for 15-20 feet. So areas like this, I would call this trail damage. It's low trail damage, but it's more because of the overgrowth, and I'll just write a note saying it needs to be brushed back. So we're over on the beach road side, and there is another entrance. Most of the individuals that use this trail right now are individuals from this community. Like I mentioned, they like to walk from here over to the Hingham shipyard, either to recreate or to go to the movies, go to the restaurants, or even just hop on the ferry and go to work in Boston. But it's a very nice, easy trail. It's probably about 1.5 miles long, if that. And it does offer some fantastic views of the harbor. Well, thank you for joining us and coming out on the trail assessment. All this information is going to be provided to the Conservation Commission. If you do have any comments or questions about the trail assessment process, or if you have any feedback in terms of trails that you would like to see in open space properties or connections to other areas, please feel free to contact the Conservation Commission office in the Hingham Town Hall. Also, just for everybody to know, there is a particular parking area specific for Bouve. So you can always come and park over at the shipyard, the Hingham shipyard, and enjoy the open space properties that Hingham has to offer.